All right, hello, welcome. My name is Jason Welsh, and this is Vendscope. Okay, I've developed some software. I've been vending for close to 10 years. I've been in retail spaces for probably about 8 years in total. So I am one to make stuff, and I want to sell it in retail or go vend with those objects. And knowing what shows to pick and what the schedule of the show is and all this good nuanced data and about the area. And like if you go into a retail space and you say, well, I'm not sure if you have any good foot traffic, you'll ask the person, is there good foot traffic? And they'll be like, oh yeah, we have good foot traffic. But really they don't. Or how could I look at this area a little bit from 1,000-point view and say, this is an awesome area? You know, I can drive into there and say, I can't park my car. There's awesome food in this area. And there's about 13 antique places for people to go, places to go. This is a hopping area. This will be really good for retail. So this program allows you to scope out that area. Okay. I'll get into each one of these and what it does, routes, retail, and scopes. But for right now, I need people to use the program. It's absolutely free. I'm not asking a dime for this. This is meant to strengthen retail and routes. Okay. It's also, I've always tried to release things that are helpful and to build people. Okay. That's what my interest is. This program allows you to do that. It allows you to look at 1,000-point view of an area before you get into that area and sell your goods, either via a show that you wanted to do from, let's say, December to January. You wanted to know exactly what shows are in areas and all the information about each show, all the booth fees, who to contact, everything else. Or if you were aiming at retail and wanting to know the store, or if you just wanted to scope out like an area and find out its economics. This program does that and more. But I need 14 individuals to put it on their Android phone for 2 weeks in order to go to the next step. And that next step is not selling anything. It's just that way it shows up in the Play Store. So it's in the Play Store right now, but it's in open development until I get people using it for 2 weeks. Do you have to interact with it? No, you can just install it, but you will because it's addicting. So that's my spiel. I'm going to go over each and everything that this program does for you as a vendor or a retail person in the next part of this video. So hang out. I do talk a lot. You can skip around if you want, or you can listen to the whole thing. Thank you for, if you are going to try Vendscope out, it's on firstdensitymaterial.com. There will be a link below to the program and how to get to it and a little bit more information if you want to read it. All right, thank you very much, and let's go on with the video. Keep in mind, it's really hard to capture your phone via OBS, so bear with me as I struggle with some of the technology here to record the software that only runs on my phone. So up here at the very top, I have buyer's pinch. This is the statistic from University of Michigan consumer segment, and it allows you to see where your crowd is right now. So 53% is not good as far as people willing to go out and buy things at this point. Now, that thing is not updated every day. It is not a real-time event. It happens every, like 1 or 2 years. So just keep in mind that's not a real live statistic, but it is data that I can use, okay? So I'm interested in traveling with a route. A route is, I think that Gem and Mineral Society shows are a good fit for my product. Okay? But I'm unsure where to even discover all the Gem and Mineral Society shows within a state. Okay? So all I'm going to do is my route name would be either my business or my idea. And we'll call it Gems this time, just for simplistic. What do I sell? Well, it's a mix between like gothic jewelry, copper, wall hangs, sculpture, and crystal, metal creations. Okay, so and then you can see this will search oddities markets, goth markets, tattoo conventions, dark markets, and Renaissance fairs. Okay, so if I wanted to get into the crystals, you can add that too, just because you know that it's in there. Now, where's my home base? Well, I'm in right now Jackson, Michigan. Let's say I pick a different state because that would be good. Let's say Toledo, Ohio. Cool. And I'm willing to spend like 300 miles out on travel. So I'll create a route. And what this will scrape is a lot of places at once. So this is going out and reaching, I call it, out to known places where people put in event information. Facebook, Instagram, there's a few signage places for tickets. There's, it'll go for a little bit of Reddit. It spans in all directions with this. It will scrape a lot of data from like Google searches and stuff like that too. But so already it's found 147 unique events in this area. Now it will wean that down. And you can see at the top, I'm running 4G Lite in this room. So you can imagine that it's going to run slow, right? So, but will it? And it will show you exactly what it did right there. See how it came up with it found all the unique events. It went to even bright, went to geocoding. It's now done scraping areas. So it found 41 real shows out of all that. So let's find out where. So in this area, this is 300 miles out. Notice I have a scope for each one of those. So I'm not going to scope those yet. Here is MGMS annual show, Rock Gem and Mineral Society show. All right. So you can see it did a really good job. Rock show, the revenue. It shows the income from it, the cost of it. It even gave me contact information and email possibly for these shows because they have publicly displayed these somewhere on their internet websites. And it's found even some events that aren't those. Now, I love these, but I want to find out more information about these, and I don't want to really go in and track every one of these down. So I'm going to let AI do that for me. Okay? So, and I don't want to spend API cost. So what I do here is I do a prompt injection. So it generated this prompt right here from the data I just scraped. So I'm going to copy this prompt. And then you can paste it into any one of your known AI engines. You can use OpenAI, you can use Claude, you can use whatever you want. Okay? Maybe I'll use Claude this time. Okay, and you don't have to use 4.7 if you don't want. You can use Sonnet for this, but I'm just going to use 4.7 just because it's fun. Paste. So what this will do will allow Opus to use the scrape data along with a fancy prompt at the very beginning to say, hey, now that we have this information, can you go research for real, are these numbers correct? So the first part of using this software is definitely dedicating yourself to an area and then spiraling out. Once you have all the data, you can then decide, are these events worth approaching? But it will plan you a route from January 1st to December 31st. All right, so once done, we can then take and hit that copy button at the bottom of that post and then head back over to the program and paste that in. Boop. And hit apply. Boop. Okay. So now you have all the scrape data being researched by your favorite AI and making sure that it all lines up. And each event has even more gathered information about those events. And just when you thought it was cool, and this is just a route, by the way. See at the top it says routes, retail, map, and shows. I've only showed you routes so far. This program's huge. So if you go to maps, it will show you that route, what it looks like, if you chose to have all of the nodes on the route. You'll notice that the routes are in an order by date of the event. So once you go to this one, you know, and you can also plan out when to apply to shows that way, which is another whole mystery in itself. All right, sweet. So I like this. Notice I have plan trip or log show. Okay. So if I went to go plan the trip, here is the area where I would be staying for this trip. It's going to research all the hotels, food, consignment stores in the area. And it'll go show me an income map on it. So I can hide any of these. So income area is very important. If you zoom out, see those green dots? Those are high income areas. And the show is in a very low income area. But what we do is we look at how many green dots there are and how much does it pull from those. Okay. In other words, is it a good balance? And in this area, does it have enough to pull these rich people into this middle area? Well, we could look at consignment areas or consignment stores that might carry our products. Okay, and each one of these can be scoped also. We won't even get into retail just yet. Food in the area. You'll notice that food, and once these two start colliding with each other, those are really awesome areas to be in. Food and consignment areas. And then you add hotels on top of that, and now you have a really good district. It'll also allow you in the settings to type in a food allergy that you might have. The reason you want food is because when you travel, you want to know what you can eat in this area. I know it's a small thing, but in the settings, I put it so you have food allergies taken into consideration. So you can put gluten-free or whatever preference you want. Nice. So, and then, once you get the Google searches down here, here's all your consignments, and here's hotels at the bottom too. And each one has a little bit of information about each one. Now, add that on top of an AI bundle. Let's say I wanted more information about this. I can hit AI bundle, copy the prompt, bring it in, and I can get all the information about just this show and its stuff in that area. Okay? So I can really deep down thing. Now, last but not least, in the settings for routes, we have this community index opt-in. This is totally anonymous, all right? Totally anonymous. So if you opt into it, you just put the check boxes in here. And what that allows you to do is, let's say you were at that show. You decided to vend, you're at the show. I can hit log show, and I can say, quite honestly, I made $2,000 at this show, maybe. How much was booth cost? I don't know. What was it? Was it steady? Yeah. It was a snowy, rainy day. Yes, I would book again. This. And then I would hit save log. Now what that does is, across all vendors that use this application, you are now put a point out there that we can all share to find out if this is actually a good event. And guess what happens to the events? They become better. Why? Because you have more competition to those events and higher quality goods because of that. So this strengthens the overall totality of everywhere that we have events. Again, that is an opt-in. You don't have to do that, but that's one of the perks of using this is to strengthen our community. Here was that area I was talking about with the settings. And you could put about your business in here too. All right, so that covers routes a little bit. There's some deeper things in here that I'll let you discover because that's also fun. But you can always reroute. You can add events yourself and then scope them. So let's say you were interested in an event that wasn't listed here. You can add that, and then it will reroute it, and then allow you to AI bundle just that one event too. You can scope out several cities all at once. If I hit this button, I'll have all 17 cities and all the information I need, and I'll get into that in the next part of this video. So let's wrap up routes, and let's move on to retail. Okay, so now we're going to cover retail. Retail, I really am interested in finding stores that carry my goods, in this case. So this would be my business. I did already first density. Okay. Where do I want to start with? What city do I want to focus on? Well, I'll do Jackson, Michigan, because it's smaller. And how many miles do I want to travel to those retail places? In this case, I will travel up to 100 miles. I do not want any kind of Kohl's, any kind of box stores, and I don't want any of the stores that were marked closed forever. They do pop up from time to time because this does use Google a little bit, along with many other ways to scrape data. So find retail targets. Okay, so let's go down and look at the retail for fourth density material. These are all areas that I could contact. Now, it doesn't give a whole lot of information. It gives you the presence of the place, the walking area. It gives you what 3 blocks of the neighborhood looks like. It kind of gives me a street view of it if I wanted to. It's going to Some stores have all kinds of data. Like, for example, that one has the ability to see inside the place. Now, I like this. Again, I want some more information about it. So that's where I could use AI to, in addition to this. Okay, so here's my AI bundle. I can do the copy prompt, and I can paste it back in just like I showed you in the last section of the video. Now let's kind of look at one that's already been done this time, because it does take a while to do that. So what you get now is an AI summary of the entire city and 100 miles out, in this case. It will give you each retail store, what they sell and what their foot traffic looks like, and a pitch. So a pitch is what I understand about this business before I approach the business. Okay, this is my sleuthing, because I don't want to just walk in the door and be like, hey, you sell stuff, I sell stuff. Why don't we sell stuff together? You could do it that way. But having an idea of what they have already in stock would be awesome. course, I would probably also visit the store. But this will get me to the point where I want to even visit the place. Nice. All right, sweet. Pretty cool. Okay, now let's say I was selling in the store. Again, that piece that I was talking about earlier of opting in, you can log the outcome, and you can say, I've been accepted. Here's their commission rate. This is what can I rent? Because that's important to me. I do not want to deal with consignment or wholesale. I only want to rent space in your store. And did the pitch work that it gave you? That gathered data now strengthens the overall pool. And as we pull in that data, it shows up underneath this purple speech. So AI is allowed to use that data to strengthen stores and show you which ones are good picks based upon people that are already selling in the store. Again, anonymous. There's no username and password here. Oh, it also allows you to find their Instagram, Facebook, and map and contact information about each store. So you don't have to go hunt. All right, another thing is just like lots of goodies still in here so you can hunt and peck things. There's stuff hidden out, so it makes it more interesting for you. So let's move on to now scope. All right, scope is a bigger, deeper dive into the city that you're about to get into. Let's say you want to get into the retail of Jackson, Michigan, for example. Is it even a good place? This is super good detail about like if you were doing Airbnbs or anything like that, or trying to sell anything for that matter in this place. This breaks it down. Okay, so it's a 32 out of 100. This score is based upon all the data, and its high and low value of median, its poverty ratio, its unemployment rate, its population, education rate. Okay, these are things that are very spoken a lot in social media and Reddits and everything else about that. Anytime you hear Jackson, Michigan, and there was a post, these are some of the words that were pulled out. I pulled some Wikipedia stuff out, but I love this one the best. Okay, theme fit. So if you have the pink stuff is where you want to aim at, because this is where this city falls flat. Foodies, right? Why? Because there is no good food here. There's a couple places, but not very many. Maker spaces, So this would probably be a good place for a makerspace because there's nothing like that in this area. There's one small one. That's about it. So as you go up, lots of transient buyers. This city is known for being in between two other cities. So this little is just a gem in itself right here. All right. Again, it allows you to do the scrape data first and then the AI bundle afterwards. And that's why you get all the purple speak. So you can see this purple speak is all the AI, and orange speak is the data being pulled in from individuals that shared about this area. So AI confidence is AI plus human boots on the ground data. All right. So if you did routes, map, retail, you'll also start seeing shows pop up. So shows is pulling from routes, and it's pulling from retail, and it'll automatically populate this as you go on. Log will also auto-populate. These are some interesting facts about the area. Okay. So that is Vendscope. You can use this program for retail. You can use it for finding routes, but really you can use it for anything that you really want to kind of dive into a city and find out if you just want to live there, you know? I hope this program helps. I'm not asking any money for it at all. I'm not making any money off the data. I just wanted to make something because I did this over and over and over again, and I needed to start thinking about, well, I've been doing this for some time. I need to probably start developing some software for it because it's getting to the point where, you know, I don't want to look up all these facts and figures and information anymore. I know where to go, I know where the data is and how to read it, but now it's time to develop some software to do it for me. And then I was like, boy, I bet a lot of people would enjoy this. I hope you enjoy Vendscope. Free of charge. I do need something from you guys. It's at the very beginning of this video, and I will ask you or tell you what it is. So if you've skipped around, please watch that introduction. Enjoy.